Scrooge is back with another game featuring a classic cartoon character, and that game is Roadrunner for your Atari 2600. And look, it's the Roadrunner on the cover. How fitting. And it's new. So let's go ahead and take this new Roadrunner game, pop it in my Atari 7800 Pro system, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Roadrunner was published by Atari and carries a copyright year of 1989, making it a pretty late release on the system. It is based on the 1985 Atari arcade game. It was programmed by Bob Talero, who is most famous for programming Defender on the 2600, which I reviewed in episode 256. According to the manual, it's just another day zipping around the desert, pecking at seeds and dodging the occasional truck. Suddenly, who should appear on the horizon but your old adversary Wile E. Coyote, trademark. He may not be the shrewdest predator you've ever dealt with, but he is certainly the most persistent. Wile E. will try just about anything to catch you. Despite your speed, you're not completely impervious to his devious tricks, nor the hazards of the desert highway. You'll need to watch out for oncoming trucks, dodge cannonballs and falling rocks, and leap over lethal landmines and cliffs. So rev up your engine and get on your mark. The race is about to begin. Roadrunner is an arcade-style game for 1 or 2 players alternating, and only has one standard mode of difficulty. For the controls, you move the joystick to move the Roadrunner and press the button to jump. You start the game with 3 lives and you lose a life if you touch Wile E. Coyote, or get hit by a cannon shot, or a truck, or a falling rock, or if you fall off of a cliff. The game is comprised of 8 levels. The goal of each level is to get to the end while running right to left. Each level also has a unique feel. For instance, in level 1 you avoid trucks. In level 2 you jump over cliffs avoiding rectangular mines. In level 3, if you get too far ahead of Wile E. Coyote, he will use rocket skates to catch up. There's also long-shaped steel shot on the ground. If you eat it by running over it, Wile E. will use a magnet to get close to you. In level 4 you have to avoid cannons, and if you get too far ahead of Wile E., he will use a rocket ship to catch you. Levels 5 and up add other wrinkles like falling rocks, but I was unable to get that far in the game because the game is really tough. Throughout the game you can run over birdseed for points. It starts at 100 points for the first pile, and the score increases 100 points for every consecutive pile you eat, up to 1,000 points per pile. But if you pass a pile and it leaves the screen, you start back at 100 points on the next one. You also get 100 points for eating the steel shot, but it puts you at a greater risk of getting caught. Sometimes you can get Wile E. to run into an obstacle like a truck, mine, or cannon shot by leading him into them, but avoiding them yourself. You get 1,000 points if Wile E. gets hit by a truck and 200 points if he hits something else. Graphically speaking, I thought the game looked pretty great, with nice desert backgrounds and really good character sprites, especially when Wile E. gets blown up. The game also sports some great sounds and music, including a well-done Looney Tunes theme at the beginning, but be warned, don't wait for the tune to end before starting your game or Wile E. will get you. Family-friendly wise, my guess is this game would get an E for everyone rating if released today. At the time I researched on eBay, including shipping, loose copies were going for $20 and new copies were going for $20 to $22. So what did I think of Roadrunner? I was shocked how much I enjoyed the game. It actually made me lose track of time the first time I played it. Now it's a very hard game, and it took me a while just to get past the 3rd level, and the 4th level is even tougher. You have to learn how to pass each level and avoid Wile E. For instance, I found it easiest to pass the 1st level simply by running all out on the top lane to start with, but in the 2nd level, his random speed made him hard to shake off at times. And later on, it was best to keep him close and not leave the screen. You can make him freeze at times by running circles around him, but that takes some skill too. But the game controls so well, I was never frustrated to the point of quitting. The game also does a good job playing off the formula of the cartoons, as I almost chuckled at times watching the foolish coyote getting lured into his own traps. Plus the game looks great and sounds great too. So where am I going to rank Roadrunner? Probably higher than most. I'm looking in the top 15. And actually, it's really close to the surprisingly fun Frankenstein's Monster at 15. I ended up enjoying Roadrunner just a little bit more, so out of the 136 games I've now ranked on 2600, Roadrunner is meeping into the 15th position. Roadrunner is a hidden gem on the Atari 2600. So what do you think of the game? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons and follow me both on the Facebook or the Twitter. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Movies Network. At this time, I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for supporting the show at patreon.com/noswordgamer and for voting on which game I should cover for today's episode. Thank you, everyone. You picked a real winner here. If you appreciate the work I do, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter starting at $1 a month. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and remember, buy Acme, unless you're Wile E. Coyote. In that case, you might want to try a different brand.